Good morning, great Americans. It's another great American video from Kentucky. The date is April 27th, 2025. And, the Democrats and the left never fails, or I should say, they never stop sinking deeper and deeper and deeper into the gutter of hypocrisy and hate and sheer stupidity. And let's hope that the poll numbers go right with them. Let's hope that they drag themselves right down that same gutter where they're dragging their own reputations. I mean, first it was they're the party of women. But we're going to let men beat up women in women's sports. We're going to let men into women's bathrooms. We're going to let men into your daughter's bathrooms in school. We're going to let teenage boys in schools who are sick perverts and think they're girls into your daughter's locker room. That goes back to Obama. We're going to elect, okay, that's the party of women. uh, uh, you know, oh, and here's a nice little bridge for you. The party of women that allowed millions of illegal aliens to come in, rape and murder scores of young, sweet American girls who had their whole lives ahead of them, raped and murdered by illegal. And who do the Democrats side with? They side with the illegal aliens. And that brings it. So the first one about the party of women was just an example of Democrat hypocrisy. And now we move on to the new ones, which is this whole rule of law, my ass. Since when have the Democrats given a shit about the rule of law when it comes to illegal aliens? For 4 years, Biden just let illegal aliens illegally enter the country. They didn't care about the law. For 4 years, they raped and murdered young American girls. Democrats didn't care about the law. And by the way, not one single Democrat, or women Democrat especially, not one single Democrat ever visited or consoled a single family member of all the girls and women raped and murdered by illegal aliens. Oh, they'll go down and visit the illegal alien in prison and drool all over him and kiss his ass, even though he's a wife beater and a gang member and a criminal. They'll go console him. But of all the girls raped and murdered by illegal aliens, not one Democrat ever gave a shit. Where was your due process back then? Where was your rule of law back then? Due process. Hey, you want to go back to the impeachment hearings on Trump, lest you forget that they were totally thwarted. The processes were fast tracked. They just sped by. They totally, no rule of law, no due process. It was all so they could get a fake, phony impeachment on the books, and just so they could get one on the books because they were fake and phony. Same with the January 6 hearings. Why did how come you ever notice January 6th was such a big deal for a while? Then the Democrats literally destroyed all the evidence of the January 6 hearings. And nobody questions it. Nobody talks about it. Could you imagine if all the records of the say the Watergate hearings were destroyed by Republicans? Oh my God. Could you imagine the outcry? How about the 9/11 hearings? Could you imagine if Bush destroyed all the records of the 9/11 hearings? But the Democrats supposedly now, according to some Democrats, The most horrific, horrible events in American history since the Civil War was January 6th, and they destroyed all the records of the hearings. Why? Well, one reason is there was no due process. Their famous loving due process that they love so much, there was no due process for Trump. The hearing was rigged. It was all a lie. There was no insurrection. I got another video about that. I'll put a link to it in the description. There was no insurrection. There was nothing. It was all a sham and a scam. No due process, no fair rules on witnesses. Republicans couldn't put who they wanted on the thing. It was a scam. But that's your due process. See, Democrats don't care about due process for Americans. They don't care about girls being raped and murdered by illegal aliens. They don't care that illegal aliens are destroying some towns along the southern border. No due process there. Ooh, no. No rule of law there. Oh, no. Recently, a poll showed that the majority of Democrats thought it was justified to assassinate Trump. Yeah, that was a real poll. Where's your due process? Oh, it's okay to assassinate Trump. We don't need due process there, right? There's a bunch of Democrats out there who think that the guy who shot and killed the CEO of the pharmaceutical company was justified. Where's your due process there? Where's your rule of law there? You have Democrats roaming the country, setting fire to Tesla factories and destroying Tesla cars, most of which are probably owned by Democrats. Where's your rule of law there? Where's your due process there? But when it comes to defending the illegal aliens who rape and murder and sneak in here illegally, the Democrats will defend them. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, here's a good one for you. A sick, degenerate left-wing judge, and I'm going to get to this about it, because when your justice system becomes corrupt, that you talk about the end of democracy. You want to talk about, oh my God, the hypocrisy. Remember how the Democrats are always talking about it's the end of democracy, it's the end of democracy with Trump? I'll tell you what the end of democracy is. The end of democracy is when judges and your justice system no longer goes by the law and instead goes purely politics. I give you the judge, the female judge who was recently arrested, thank God. ICE was outside the courtroom doing their duty, law enforcement waiting to apprehend an illegal alien who was going to be deported according to the law. And this judge broke the law, violated due process. Oh, no due process here, folks. But she didn't give a shit about process. She broke the law. She sent the ICE agents away on some wild goose chase. She snuck the illegal aliens out of the courtroom and let them go, while the families of the illegal aliens victims were sitting in her courtroom. That is evil and illegal on so many levels. And you actually have Democrats now coming out and defending the judge. Whoa, what happened to due process? What happened to the law? Oh, remember the Democrats? No one is above the law? Well, apparently now the judges are above the law. Any judge can violate any law, break any law, do whatever they want, and Trump can't have them arrested because he's a Nazi. My God, people, I have said this before in other videos, and when I said it, I thought we had reached the peak of madness, but apparently we haven't. So I'm going to say it again. For those of you who did not vote for Trump, what is it going to take for you to pull your heads out of your asses and realize that it is the Democrats who are the danger to democracy, who are destroying democracy. Not Trump, not the Republicans. The only thing Trump is, look at, we can boil down what Trump is doing to two major points. Very simple. He's trying to fix the economy by doing some monumental changes, which are going to take a little time. I mean, he's not just tinkering around the edges like every other president has done. Oh, let's cut the tax here. Let's raise the tax here. Let's spend a little less here. Let's spend a little more there. It's all bullshit. Okay, it's just rearranging the chairs on the deck of the Titanic. Trump is bringing fundamental change to fix the economy, and that's going to cause a little pain for a while, but it's going to work. That's one. There's two things. I said two things Trump is doing: fixing the economy and enforcing the law. First one, Democrats are clueless about, and the second one's Democrats hate, because it is the Democrats, not Trump, who are the lawless, criminal people and a lawless criminal organization. For 4 years under Biden, he disobeyed Supreme Court orders, for example, when it comes to student loans and other things. He allowed illegal aliens to sneak in. They raped and they murdered. We have judges violating the law. We have a corrupt justice system. Democrat judges are following politics and personal opinions and totally throwing out the law, literally setting criminals free just because of their political views. They are destroying democracy. So I ask again, you people who did not vote for Trump, what's it going to take for you to open your eyes? What's it going to take? How much do we have to go through? And even now that Trump is president, the entire Democrat left-wing cabal is working against him when all he's trying to do is enforce the law. I'm going to make this really simple for you, folks. Illegal aliens are in this country illegally. They must be deported. That is called law enforcement. Fuck your due process. They are not citizens. They are here illegally. They have no due process. And don't talk about due process when you were the ones who violated the law, who violated the rule of law by allowing them in the first place. Okay? It's that simple. Okay? I'm going to put a few links to some related videos in this in the description of this video. Please like and share. And I will see you in the next Great American video. Adios, muchachos.